And everyone, I am back with some more Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. And apparently also today it has been revealed that we're getting a new expansion next year, Dawn Trail. Well, I am unsure what to expect, but I'm kind of hyped for it. This means the start of a whole new story. But for now, let's get back into the action. So last where we left off, we beat the crap out of Leviathan. Now, the Admiral has informed me of the arrangement. I have in my keeping a letter of introduction for Lady Yugiri. The south stands a gate leading to a pier for smaller fishing vessels. Look for an inconspicuous Huron man there, and present the letter to him. He serves as a gatekeeper of sorts. Now, before you go, I am obligated to remind you that the members of the fraternity to which you would be introduced are born in the shadows of Lominsan society. They value their independence more highly than pirates, and are united by a strong bond stronger than mithril. To wit, they are invariably wary of new faces. Though it be penned by Admiral himself, mere words on the parchment will get you so far in their confidence. You must work with every ounce that they trust in you. Here's the letter. Go to the aforementioned place. Show it to the aforementioned man. Oh, and good luck. Okay. You're gonna need all the blue you can muster for these boys. In it? Become a blue mage. Actually, no. You don't need a blue mage. You need to be a green mage. Because green is best. Wait a minute. You kidding me? Inconspicuous. Go business with me, Van Trapp. So you're the man the Admiral sent word of. I was hoping I might have had a glimpse of Thancred too. Been a while since I seen his shining grin. But with all the Deward henches about, I suspect he's got his hands full. Wait, I think I might have skipped a line of dialogue. Damn it. You must be the Far East now, what Merweb says wants to train with us. Welcome to Limsa, milady. I am Yugiri Abdoma. It's an honor to make your acquaintance. I must confess, when I first learned of your organization, I had certain preconceptions as to the nature of your membership. It would seem I was mistaken. You're not the first person to say that, lass. Lives is a city of pirates, to be sure, and pirates won't give two farts about keeping a spotless reputation. They hardly need a secret society to do their dirty work. Might be as my people and I keep to the shadows, but we've got nothing to be ashamed of. It's simply better for business that we remain unseen. And so you have developed fighting techniques suited to this purpose. I see. Know that the practitioners of my art too are denizens of shadow. 'Tis in stealth that our strength lies. There is much we might learn from one another, I think. Then what in the seven hells are we waiting for? If you come with us, you Gary of Do What's It, we can get acquainted with more private surrounds. That didn't come out right, did it? Master Valzen, I shall remain with these people for a time that I might study their ways. Though I am loath to be separated from my countrymen, I take solace in the knowledge that they are in the best of hands. You have been a true friend to us Dolmens. No words would suffice to express my gratitude. Ere long, I hope to begin imparting my martial knowledge to the people of Eorzea. When the time comes, it would be my honor to welcome you as a student. Oh dear. Much and more has occurred since I first beheld Eorzea from the galleon's deck. Suffice to say, I did not envisage being invited to play a part in your noble struggle. But forgive me, I've kept you over long. Doubtless you have pressing business of your own. Rest assured that I no longer require an escort in this land. When next you meet Lady Minfilia, pray relay to her my humblest thanks. Would that I could do so in person, but I must needs fulfill my promise to the Admiral. Till we meet again, Warrior of Light. Actually, wait, I have one of these. Pardon me. Oh, bless me.
I have been reflecting upon the events which took place during our visit to Vilbrand. If you have a moment, I would share my conclusions with you. Please, bear with me. When the Sahagin Elder summoned Leviathan, he employed the power we have come to know as the Echo. Though I cannot well explain the how of it, it would seem he became immortal in so doing. When the Admiral subsequently slew him, his spirit emerged from his lifeless flesh, a consciousness shorn of physical form. Thus transfigured, he took up residence in the body of his minion with the ease of a man donning a favorite glove. Long have I known that the Echo allows one to pass through the walls of a man's soul, but never did I imagine that it could free us from our own flesh, nor less that our souls could then occupy the next corporeal vessel to take our fancy. It was of this that Elidibus spoke, an existence which knows neither cessation nor oblivion. And yet, though the Sahagin had mastered his gift and thereby become immortal, he was by no means invulnerable. As we both bore witness, he was ultimately absorbed into Leviathan. And the import of this observation? If the Ascians' mode of existence is indeed the same, it can be inferred that they too are not invulnerable, that they can be destroyed. There exists a legend which tells of souls who are reborn upon the cusp of each umbral calamity, that they might stay the encroaching darkness. To most, it is but a fairy tale. Yet recent events have given me cause to wonder, could the legend in fact refer to the Echo? Much and more yet remains unknown, but I am confident that all will become clear in time. For the present, however, what matters is that the key to defeating the Ascians may at last be within sight. With Urianger's aid, it is my hope that I shall fathom this matter ere long.
Speaking of which...
Oh, I was just about to send for you, my friend. Is Artemis?
Grave tidings from the Sharlayan motherland, my lady. It doth concern our distant allies, the students of Baldessian.
What of them?
My lady, the Isle of Val, which for many years hath been the Order's home, is no more.
No more? Whatever do you mean?
An entire island?
I relate only that which hath been conveyed unto me by our agents. An etheric wave of the highest magnitude was recorded in the region. Soon thereafter, 'twas observed that the isle had ceased to be. 'Tis postulated that a magic was evoked, like in power to Ultima.
12 preserve.
If there are no other matters, I move that today's meeting be adjourned.
Sus.
It is done, my lord. I... Forgive my impertinence, my lord, but these orders, I am uncertain as to what end they serve.
Revolution.
I know that's meant to be ominous, but I can't help but snicker at that. Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone, everything. No, it avails us not to speculate. Oriange will send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on what is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns etheric fluctuations, which we had previously attributed to good King Mughal Mog XII. But the king is no more, or is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the 12th Wood. The latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the impossibility warrants immediate investigation. I would have you... Athena, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees, hailing from Ul'dah this time, have come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. Presence there in the 7th heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Scylla, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread, more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Yep. Talzin, should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. Well, I guess we're not dealing with a primal just yet. Yeah. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the 7th Dawn. Twelve be praised, it is you! We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray, calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know not of your situation. Beg your pardon, antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one who got what got took. They say there's work, but it's not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul no sooner than his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course. It ain't near enough. It only gets worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. Don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where. And then it came to me. Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took the foreigners in, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. I fear the situation is far more complicated. While it's true that we accepted the Domin's petition for aid, the decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I empathize deeply with your plight, but pray do not understand. Understand, it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it is with great regret I must deny your request. But we have nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us. If I might have a word, Tataru is also miss. Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alphino. But I has been wounded. What? How serious? Is it serious? How? Is it serious? Not to say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. Seven hells, now the Blaze will have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Listen, please, if you want to help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady, we're not the ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphino and quickly. If he's in danger, or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Pray. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ida and Papalima will see to it. Alphino is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Valzen. They do have a point, though. Oh. Oh. You can only... There's only so much you can do. There's only so much kindness will get you. Well, it's a great thing to be kind and generous. Yes, you do have limits on your resources. The resources have their limits. And even more so for space. You're right there, Alphino.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'Dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Reborn and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Ul'Dans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers, while more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Okay, so what do we do about it? As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur given the rising tensions with the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. If I piqued your curiosity, good. Then you'll accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Reborn has to say upon the matter. Okay, I tried to jump through that. No, it's not a good time, Captain Skycloak. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Elfino, back on your feet already? May credit my swift recovery to the Yorkai Regents. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation? Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Thanalan. We have sent what forces we can to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine, given that the majority of refugees live outside the walls, stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tensions between the Ul'Dan citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Dolmens were turned away, but would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not What of those who have not even a single guild to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the Immortal Flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that this powder cake of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion and now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. No, not that. I do not have time to discuss this. The scouts will return anon. Well then, our turn. The general's no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without necessary proof, that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monitorists would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. There. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Valzin. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. My thoughts exactly. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at a request for such information, but I have no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? Righto then. You look as though you have something to say, Captain Skycloak. Do you? What you ask is no simple favor. For such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual, even one with ties to the flames, may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well. The Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. Maybe unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the Blades posted there. What brings you here, adventurer? Search for refugees? Well, then you'd come to the right place. You mean those refugees? Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that. Like that merchant who passed through recently. Grego's fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. Didn't expect for them to send you, Valzin. I take it this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return. And I'm increasingly concerned that Zazawaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zazawaka. He will explain everything. Zazawaka! Don't hurt me! I'm not one of them! I beg your pardon? You're the Flames? But you're of the Flames, but you're not with the Flames. I see. If Lothric bids you speak with me, then I take it you agreed to help. 12 be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the Flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed. Ha! A childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving. You would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent and you'll understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently. So traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I've no doubt the merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. What are you doing? Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw! Why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me. Be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay? Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? Calm down. Who are you? What do you want? It's true. All the merchant have made the gods strike me down for my folly. But they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. Thought about running then and there. The others were so excited. Split us into 2 groups and sent us off on our own. But the flames found us. We didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs. Then they started arguing and fighting. And then everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and... Oh god, it's the other group. They're still out there. If you don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope. To approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. A pox on all bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. If only we'd never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. If they were forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one man. Maybe then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. Okay. Sounds good. Though that depends on how cowardly the twins actually are. It would no sooner put those people between to put all the people between me and them. 7 hells, they found us! Everyone grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. So that's your game, is it? Sorry to disappoint you, lad, but we're more than willing to kill you ourselves. Boop. You wanna try that again? Boop. Again. Oh, a challenge! It's been too long. So, what now? You beat him like it was nothing! Oh, almighty, what are we gonna do now? Those were the twins? Huh. Returned. Did you find my brethren? Where are the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. Rather than a handful of them take a beating from you, than the lot getting butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? I didn't see him. Huh? Where else could he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others? The merchant wished to approach the refugees in Stone's Throw. Was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him. Convince him to end his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. I see a big cactus. And I must blast. There we are. What's the matter, kid? Have you seen my parents? They told me to stay here with the others. They said be back soon. It's been days. They left with the man from Ul'dah. The man said that they were gonna change everything. Make it so that we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when he talks about making the rich people pay. He looked so angry and I got scared. Say, mister, are you looking for someone? Looking for someone stirring up trouble. You mean the man who left with my parents? I don't know where he... Wait, look! Over there, I think that's him! Hmm? Well now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? You! He's getting away! Go get him, mister! He won't get far. He can run, but he can't fly! You again? Why are you pursuing me? Sedition? Treason? Revolution? That's preposterous! Who has your head filled with these lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorized the streets of Ul'dah? Ah! I have no evidence to prove your accusations. None! I have plenty. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. For the sake of argument, let's say I did the things you claimed. Surely you don't think I give a current ass about politics? It was business. Only business. We both know I'm not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I'll tell you everything. Very well. Oh, bloody hell! What's all this commotion? Seven hells! Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. Halt, adventurer. I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. This man was responsible for the recent riots? Yet we owe this murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it's obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. I don't know. I don't think he was the one responsible. Oh, I just think he was in a bad... I think he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And he was killed to be silenced. What news, Captain Skycloak? Where's the merchant? Murdered? Man, all the seven hell. He was not simply murdered, Captain. He was silenced. Too many knew his face. He was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. You may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator to these rites than you realize. Yep, I was right. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries, as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alphino has already been informed and should be waiting you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste, and speak with Bartholomew. It's random. Actually, no, let's make it this tiny. I've been expecting you, sir. Please proceed inside.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Olive-Megan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
The brass blades?
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed.
A moment.
The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji.
Yeah,
But he
he
spoke
can't be
in
trusted.
favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
His own profit.
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Alagon ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Alagon monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Alagon inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartano Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon, one which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Carlians did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
be glad to know the truth, and yet, what of all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is the most troubling. It would be our best interest to learn more of military activities in the disputed disputed territories. You are, of course, the Scion best suited to this task, Skycloak. Do take a moment to visit the Hall of Flames and make inquiries at the earliest available opportunity. Begone, whelp! There's no place for children! I'm sorry. Hey, don't be rude. I was looking for you, mister. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? So he visited Stone's Throw as well. I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? Or not, I'm afraid. I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go look for them together. Really? You'll help me, mister? Of course, but first, I must needs finish speaking with my friend. He's telling me a secret, you see? So no one else is allowed to listen. Perhaps you could wait for me at that pillar over there? We require but a moment. Okay, mister, I will. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Mamori will know what to do. A legion of Gallians, an Aether-Star Primal, even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Memphilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources, and ourselves. Perhaps the time has come for a change. Palzin, this is Memphilia. I know this is sudden, but I ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in Twelveswood has taken a turn for the worse. I will explain it in detail once you arrive. Hear that? You're a babysitter. Twelveswood. The primal threat she spoke of has been confirmed. No reports of Ixal activity, which leaves the Sylphs? Go, Nelson. You know well as I that the appearance of our primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you do arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. Okay, sure. It's a relief to see you healthy and hale, Valsen. The latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing. And it gets worse. Clearly, the only injury Alphinaud suffered was to his ego. Doubtless, it will heal ere long. Other Scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you're ready to begin, I will summon them now. Leviathan? Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent. To business then. I received the most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs have called forth their revered guardian, the Primal Ramu. I'm sorry, may have? And it is not certain. The elder seeds here informed us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylphlands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, antecedent, but the fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramu is reputed to act only in the defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, it would surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon? You foresaw this eventuality and did not prevent it? I told Papalingo, as well as I could have reported things to Menphilia earlier. Honestly, wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. Already summoned Ramu once right after the calamity, but that was because the Gallians came tramping through the forest. And so long as Castrum Orion stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Ida and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers in the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis like the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion, and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affair of men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorza would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Alzen, through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Grandania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramu can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. And a fond hope. Were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the Beastmen since time immemorial. This time we can... Let's continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Ramu's presence. The Seed Seer has requested your personal involvement, Alzen. I report to Commander Helix at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Seal yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Levin will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow Scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. Senior Lover, thank you for the follow. Okay. Nice. Huh. Let's see. I can use some useful tips. Seamer. I think I'll be fine for the moment, Seamer. I'll just I plan to take things a bit slow and steady for the time being. Thousand of the Scions, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. So my men stand ready for any eventuality. I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The elder Seedsir, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic, rather than martial, skills may be better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Nofia's altar. Nofika's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the lotus stand. Huh? For a second I thought I was stuck on nothing. The other scions have already gathered, sir. May I show you in?
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the Sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other Primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelveswood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations.
Okay.
The Twelveswood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples.
This is it's indeed a very unique kind of
You
primal.
have my thanks. Pray make for Little Solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there.
Oh, whoops! Ah! I'm stupid.
An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelveswood that flinches at its coming. All the lands Veorzia shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
So, yeah. Ramuh is unique for being a more peaceful primal. One that's more open to negotiation. But there are also a few other primals going forward that are just as unique, such a... I'm not gonna say them just yet, because they're technically spoilers. For those of you who are watching this for the lore. If you know, you know. Okay. Thousand of the Scions? I was told to expect you. I understand you go. Oh, I understand you go to treat with the primal Ramu himself. An unenviable task, but one for which I have no doubt you are well suited. I've been told that your fellow Scions are conducting an investigation of the area as we speak, that we might ascertain the location of and where the Lord of Leven might be found. I would ask that you abide here until they return with their findings. Was told that a messenger would be sent as soon as your fellow Scions finish their investigation. I do not imagine it will be much longer.
This one returns. It returns with good tidings. Was once finished searching, wisely identified the precise location where the trust ones summoned Lord Rabu.
Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind as to escort this good man to his fellow Scions?
It would be this one's pleasure, Walking Bone. Please come this way. And come with, please come with this one. Was once invented deep within the Sylphlands. These ones must proceed carefully and keep an eye out for the touch bombs. This one is most sorry, but this one can go no further. Far too close to Lord Ramu, and this one might turn mean and nasty like touch ones. And so this one will say farewell for now. Walking One will find wise ones not far from here, yourself. Go in safety, Walking One.
So it's actually you. I'm relieved. For a moment I thought we were dealing with another one of those confined self-tricksters. I swear, with them wreaking havoc with their skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look on Y'shtola's face when the one impersonating you suddenly showed up. That's quite enough, Papalimo. My apologies. It's not like me to ramble, so. At any rate, as I was saying, I have finished measuring etheric activity in the area, and I'm pleased to say I have reached an indisputable conclusion. To wit, that Ramu was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylph's Aetheryte. Come, Belzen, the Lord of Leven awaits. So, one moment. I'm gonna turn down the background music, because that's actually kind of loud. Makes it hard for me to hear it makes it hard for me to hear my own voice like this.
order betrays thee, servant of hiding. Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan.
The beard on this primal.
I am Ramu, guardian of the children of the forest.
He has like 80% beard.
Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs? The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just.
Okay, replace wisdom with ego, and I think you get kind of at the point.
Redanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born? It would explain much, not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking?
Yes.
Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges. That they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal, shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment.
So in other words, you want me to kick your ass?
Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramu, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
All right. One second. Allow me a moment, folks. I'm gonna be on a little bit of a break, so yeah. Be right back, screen. Get some water, stretch your legs. We'll be back in a bit. I have returned. After a nice helping of boob. Going with this because we do not have, because it's not available in the duty finder. It's because it's not available in duty support. The man has no legs. My turn. Sorry, chat. I seem to keep getting interrupted. Usually by folks.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light. And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Ascians.
Interesting.
But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
Balzan, you have returned. Dare I ask how Ramu received your visit? He challenged you to a test of arms? It is well then that you have some experience in such matters. The peoples of both Bredonia and Little Solace will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest's champion of peace. You performed a monumental duty this day, Balzan. The Seed Seer must be informed of your deeds at once. The Seed Seer will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Ray, turn to Gridania. Make directly for the Lotus Stand, and Contra at Nofika's altar will be expecting you. Very well, Balzan. No, not that. That. Screw waiting.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramu ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramu made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth.
Maybe you could start with being less monotone.
Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Valzen? I'd hoped Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal's sudden challenge. It seems that Oriange, too, was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Valzen? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? Back, Valzen. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramu precedes you. I would fain share news of my own, but Oriante's discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Levin, a learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior.
Class is now in session.
Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin Elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth the distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection,
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
of Levin is returned to the ether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramu's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whirl, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man, Eidolon's servant grows mightier by the day. Yet he prospers at great cost to his mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but the souls are grown weak and wane. Weak and wan. Yet even as it innovates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted, to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we bend our every efforts. Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. Now the matter of Ramu has, for the present, been put to rest. There is something I would show you, Valzin. It is a letter of thanks, signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all defeated primals: Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mughal Mog the 12th, Leviathan, and now Ramu. Needless to say, there's only one among our number to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel they were meant for you above all others. I, too, must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you've done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You're a true hero, Valzin, and Eorzea is that much safer for your presence. But pray do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. And foment strife on his own. That is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet despite all this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow. There is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in so doing. Less of enemies has ever been long. Think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the beastmen who wish naught of conflict, and who now call you friend. Of Alize, who strives to unearth the terrible secrets of the calamity. And then there is Sid and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of an ancient ally, that we might be spared the horror of another ultimate weapon. Of course, when speaking of the greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Asians, and combat it we shall. Okay. Your enthusiasm is heartwarming, antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alphino, I take it the troubles in Uldar no longer require your attention? There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. Ah, and I have a message for you from Ellie. You recall the refugee girl? Well, the one whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed. She wished for me to pass on her thanks to you. Why, Alphino? Am I to understand you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your reports. I do hope you've left nothing out. Belson, you've been away from Revenant Soul for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment and take the opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozan was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? Oh, okay. I kind of want to see artwork done of Valzen, like my character, just at a conspiracy board, or like that one meme. Just that's Asians. Look, it's Mr. Valzen. He's back from his adventures. We heard that you were off fighting primals. That there were some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too. So we formed our very own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Mr. Valzen? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion then? Mr. Boulder, Mr. Colinet. Did you know that Mr. Valzen is back? It would seem so. Welcome, old Valzen. My companion and I but recently become full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Colinet. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we've taken upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the arts of combat. I told you, Mr. Boulder, we're not younglings anymore. We're adventurers. And we were just asking Mr. Valzen if he could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside him, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Valzen? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Hori, if I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Well, mayhaps I am. But what matters the motive when the children sent to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Valzen? Would you consent to spar with me? Okay, but you're gonna get your ass kicked. Hurrah! We're to have a tournament. Come on, everyone. We must prepare our gear for an outing. Try not to disappoint them, hmm? Have faith, Colonet. I shall summon every ounce of my strength to make this a worthy contest. The field to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. Very much look forward to our bout. It was good of you to agree to this, Valzen. Trust you're ready to begin. Very well. Let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Horny, are you certain you wish to fight him alone? That is Valzen you face. A better way to test my mettle. Right, allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, it was the hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Valzen to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear that the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Well, prepare to join in quick. Hello? Haven't begun, have you? You haven't begun, have you? Huh. Okay. Gita? Who are all these people? When I heard you were about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there's still more to come. When I mentioned Valzen's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. We'd best claim victory, Bringer of Light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. Yes, and I destroyed the Ultima weapon. We shall soon see. On your guard. You can play that game. Let me show you what real power is. You done? There we are. You bested me. I yield. That was incredible. You beat them up at the same time. But you couldn't lose, Valzen. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I have much work to do if I'm never to attempt the same. Best of us always, Alzen. It's ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. Judging by the smiles on those many faces, they, too, appreciated the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met? It was at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartano. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why Grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My intentional impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, yet the effort I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The Legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue Grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, nations too self-involved and unstable. 'Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. 'Twas you who taught me through countless acts of bravery that my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people. These wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though we never put such feelings into words, I believe Grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish. A wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the science of the Seventh Dawn alone. No. What is needed to tackle the root of the primal threats and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. Okay. The sky makes me feel like we're on an alien planet. Thank you for coming, Falcon. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. And, I think this is a good place as any to call it. Those of you who tuned in, thank you for watching. I'll be back with this again next week. As for Ender Lilies, I have a good idea when I want to do those streams more often, because my usual day is now been occupied. So, for the time being, I've been Rippington, and until next time, folks.